Yo, what's up, man? Welcome to Spirit Led on the Light ATX with Chad and Janae. We are back to chop it up and have a little bit of fun. Man, it's crazy, man. I'm excited to see you, man. It's been a crazy, crazy week for me. Yeah. And I know that crazy just seems to follow us. So I don't know if I'm chasing crazy or crazy's chasing me, man. But I'm excited to be here. Last week we had a really good time. Some of the stuff we talked about maybe didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but
speaking of crazy.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, crazy kind of follows me.
It's a journey. We're not going to speak crazy, but let's say it's a journey. It's a experience.
All right. I love it. You're helping me validate my mistake. Yeah. Validate and justify.
Hey, we're aligned though. We're both wearing red.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We didn't even call each other and say,
like
hey,
we made effort.
It's just effortless. Spirit led.
Come on, man. How was your week?
My week was interesting. I wasn't feeling that well. I'm still kind of healing right now. I'm getting through that. I did call into work, and I realized that they actually have e-visits online, where all I had to do is type in my issues, and they gave me a sick note, and I was like,
man, come on, God is good.
Is it?
God is good.
I was like, okay.
I'm trying to give him glory for everything.
Now I know what I need to do if I need to get out of work in it. But I've just been healing. I'm just grateful that I don't get as sick as other people do, because I had a coworker that got really, really, really sick. Yeah. And I could feel it. My throat was sore for like a day. Yeah. And then I was just feeling under the weather, like, when your body's just kind of like, you just want to rest. But I'm just so grateful that I just don't get fully sick. Like, I had caught COVID, I want to say a year or so ago. Yeah. I had COVID for 3 days, tops. Yeah. Tops. Like, I maybe dealt with it literally for 2-3 days, and then I was done.
You mean the flu?
Right. No. But really, though, usually the flu can last people a week or two. Yeah. And it lasted me 3 days, and I was done. And I'm just grateful. You know
what's crazy is I don't get sick that often either.
Yeah.
But when I get sick, like, it's not good. Like, I am completely, like, I'm a 2-year-old. Like,
well, that's usually men in general. They always say that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You guys are a little.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just don't. But in our house, I mean, we have so many kids that it's like a flu pool.
Oh, like, right.
Especially when the kids are in school.
Yeah.
When the kids are in school, man, they're bringing everything home.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying
kids are
to
nasty.
quarantine myself. Yeah. And plus they're my kids, right? So there's probably that extra little disadvantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was like, kids are gross.
But it's crazy.
I mean, I work at a juvenile center, so I understand when it comes to it's teens, but they're still gross.
Yeah.
They're gross.
Yeah.
So, but I'm grateful that I'm healing. I always like to speak healing into me. Our words are powerful. So I'm healing instead of like I'm sick. No, I'm healing. Right. So I'm healing. And I take herbs.
I'm healing. I would like to heal a little faster. But
are you taking your herbs? Probably not. No. Wife, is he taking his herbs?
We talked about this last week, but I've kind of stayed away from herb. Herbs. No, man.
There's angels. They say there's angels behind certain plants, because
my God.
Yes, there's angels behind certain plants. And
we're going to talk about horoscopes next.
No, absolutely not. There are angels behind certain plants. Okay. And so God puts plants on the earth to allow us to heal. So
I believe that. So I just don't know anything about it.
There's angels behind them that allow us. Just like there's spirits of infirmity. Yeah. There's spirits of healing.
Like, give me an example. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Like what kind of plant has an angel behind it?
A palm tree, actually.
Yeah, you were like quick on that one too. I was gonna stump you. I was like, see, that's crazy.
Yes, they do actually. Like,
oh my God, palm trees. What is the angel effect of a palm tree?
Well,
other than the fact that if you have one, you're near a beach.
The leaves that are on it, if you actually like bathe with the leaves, it'll help heal you. There's there's just certain things. It's really interesting, actually.
Stop it.
I'm so serious.
What is it, like aloe? I mean, how is it different?
Like aloe.
You're bathing in palm tree leaves? Like, I think we need to stop. We need to back up off God for a minute and address this. You're bathing in palm tree leaves.
You can. There's certain herbs and stuff that have angels behind it that God has ordained, and it allows us to heal. They're healing spirits.
I'm not even going to argue with you.
There's spirits of infirmity, and then there's spirits that allow us to heal.
I'm not even going to argue with you.
So you got to take your herbs.
I'm not going to bathe with palm tree leaves.
You don't have to do that. But, oil of oregano is great. I take that. Any kind of echinacea. There's
what?
Echinacea. There's I was taking. I put some cayenne pepper. It sounds crazy.
How you spell echinacea?
I can't spell. I am a math person.
No,
I can't
man.
Spell.
Oh my God.
I know it's with the E.
I just feel like you just made up a Scrabble word. Echinacea.
I know it has an E. It starts with the E.
It's so funny. I don't do any of that, man. I mean, I'm telling you right now.
Drink some tea. Put some apple cider vinegar in it. Put some lemon juice. Add a little bit of cayenne pepper.
I suck at taking care of myself. Like, I literally suck at it. That's why.
Some honey.
No.
That's
I'm not allowed honey.
Why?
No, I don't know. Mommy says no.
You can't have honey?
No, can't have honey.
Why can't you have honey?
There's all kinds of stuff I can't have. She looks to my wife like, I don't know, Warden.
Yeah, tell us why.
Warden, why can't he have honey? I just get a no.
Oh.
Not really a reason, just no.
I'm sure she gave you a reason, but you probably forgot what it was.
Yeah, I love it when she's on the other side of the camera and I have the microphone, because then I can say whatever I want and nobody can really, fact check me. You know what I mean? You can't fact check me with my relationship.
I'll ask her after this.
That's terrible. As long as you don't share it on the mic,
we're
cool.
I
have to maintain my integrity of always being right.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna ask after this break. Definitely gonna ask after the break. Dude. But yeah, so I'm healing and it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, didn't you start school?
I did.
How's that going?
I love psychology.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
I love it.
I'm scared because you're like one of the few people that have like this position in my life where you can call me on my stuff, and then there are conversations on air and stuff like that. So I'm really like kind of, behind the scenes, kind of hoping that you don't like it and you suck at it.
Oh, I'm great. I love it. People told me that
my
psychology
plan is not working at all.
Oh, this is awesome.
Like, I'm hoping that gets far.
And you all are screwed.
Yeah.
You all are screwed.
No, I'm telling you, like, I'm really worried about it. Like, I don't need anybody else dismantling my psychiatric stability or anything to do with my psyche. I'm serious. Like, all 5 of us are doing well.
Exactly. See, I already felt like I knew so much from experience. Yeah. And now I'm actually like, I'm going to be studied. Oh man, it's going to be bad for everyone.
But some people you just shouldn't study.
It's going to be bad for everyone. I'm so excited because
just let me be me.
I love Psychology 101. I thought I wasn't. Everybody told me this was going to be the hardest class.
Yeah.
And I found out it's because psychology is a science. So I'm learning about the brain. I'm learning about sleep patterns. I'm learning about history on scientists that learned certain things, and it's really good. And I actually was a science major when I was in school before I left school, and I'm realizing, okay, I'm right back where, like, in the same, I guess, vicinity that I was in, but just on a different path. So before, I was into science to be a chiropractor and do like physical type of therapy.
Them dudes are nuts. Them people are crazy.
Oh, and I love that stuff. So it's like,
I got adjustments one time. I was like, bro, this is tough crack, and I didn't even know existed.
I love physical stuff. That's why I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to get certified in being a nutritionist so that I can say I know exactly what I'm talking, because I know what I'm talking about. So I want to make sure it's on paper. It's validated. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm already looking for a new co-host.
I love
because you're talking about psychology and nutrition, and I'm out on both.
Great. I love it. I love it.
I just kind of like being fat and disturbed.
See, we got to be better. We're trying.
I know I got to be better, and my wife is adamantly campaigning for me to be better.
This could become a whole like. Yeah. I could end up just sitting here and be like, so why do you
I see
settle?
This going really far.
Yeah, it could go really left, because it's like, I could be like, why do you settle physically, spiritually, emotionally?
I just don't think it's settling. It's comfortable.
Oh, you're about to be saying it's about to become a therapy session.
The whole point of this, though, is that it doesn't have to make sense. It really, really doesn't have to make sense. It's just, it just is what it is.
Oh, Lord, I'm going to put in an extra prayer. I'll make sure I put in an extra prayer.
For real.
extra
like
couple.
for real. Look.
I'm already fasting still, so
everybody needs to be praying for your boy. Everybody needs to be praying for me. Just don't give up.
I need to pray for your wife.
Definitely pray for my wife, man. My wife is the toughest person alive.
Seriously.
No joke, man, for real.
Yeah.
What's crazy? Anything else been going on this week? Anything crazy happen?
Anything crazy? No. Like I said, just getting through my healing.
Yeah.
I do want to share this. I went to church on Sunday per usual, and there was a guest pastor at my church. And he was like in his 30s. He's young, and he had a wife. And he was talking about, I guess they have 3 kids, and he was like, he was talking about all these great, these things, and he was giving praise and thanks, like at the beginning of his, just kind of thing. He's like, I want to thank my wife. And he was just like, she's great. I couldn't do things without. He was just praising her, right? And then he was like, and she's about to have her fourth child, and he was just like, you guys just don't understand how much I love my wife. And he just like kind of, his head goes, he just wiped tears off his face, and he was like, we've been together for 12 years. And I was like, Lord, like I want this kind of relationship. Like this is, I don't want 4 kids, but I thought it was amazing to see just a man love his wife that much that it brings him to tears after 12 years. And I just, that kind of stuck with me this week of that experience, because a lot of people are like, oh, marriage is this and it's a struggle and it's hard. And you always hear this hard stuff and you're like, oh, maybe I should, as a single person. And it's like, that doesn't sound like fun. But then to see like a man be like, you guys don't understand how much I love this woman. He keeps getting her pregnant, so obviously he loves her a lot, right? Yeah. He keeps getting
privately.
Keep getting her pregnant.
Yeah, but something going right.
Right? He loves her. Something. He said, you guys don't understand how much I love this woman. We're like, I have an idea.
That's crazy.
Poor child. Yeah. So, but it brought him to tears, and I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that. I thought that was really nice to see and to hear.
Yeah, it's dope when it's good.
Yeah.
I will say it's unfortunately, I've been married a couple times before my current wife now, and it is a completely different experience when God's in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It really is. Like
I
never even thought like this was possible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What's so crazy is I know we're going to get on like marriage and dating and stuff later, but I do feel like when I coming to God, I'm like, I thought my standards were high and they got higher.
Really?
Just coming to God, it's like my standards are even higher than they were. And it's just like, if I thought I wasn't going to find a man then, I'm like, it's crazy because coming to God, I feel my standards are higher, but I feel more sure that I'll find what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably really different and probably really personal with everybody. Like on the other end of it, you can kind of tackle it and dismantle it and kind of all that other stuff. But like for me, it's like, first of all, I don't really care who you are. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care who you are. Like being alone sucks. For some people like me, it is an extremely trying thing. You're always looking for complete. You can see a housewife and dang near anything. When you're alone, you just look for things and you're looking for it consistently. For me, God gave me everything I wanted when I stopped looking for it. Yeah, I was always looking for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, always looking for it, and all it really was a compromise in between what It's just getting into details about that, but basically all I'm saying is like, sometimes when you're looking for it, you're able to see things that don't exist in somebody just simply because you want it.
Oh, that's so true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now that I'm here with God, like I love being single. Yeah. And I honestly see all the things that I'm like, as soon as the guy's like, oh, I want to take on a date. Nope, it's a waste of time. Yeah. It's a waste of time because it's not going to happen. I can already see you're not the one.
That's dope, though. My dad told me something a long time ago. It's probably one of the best things he ever told me. He said, if you can't be happy alone, then you can't be happy with another person. Oh, so the fact that you can be alone and be content.
Yeah, I love it.
Maybe impatient. Yeah, I know you. Every.
I'm good right now.
Yeah, you're
God
good,
has
though.
Me I guess it's because I'm so busy.
I wasn't.
I think it's because I'm so busy. Like work has me busy. I have all these things I'm in. God's purpose has me busy, and I'm not establishing where I want to be exactly. Like I'm still establishing, and I just don't have time. I don't even have time to date. A guy asked me on a date, and I told him, I said, honestly, like, I don't even have time. He said, well, why not a coffee date before you go to class? Yeah. Absolutely not. That's more time. That means I might have to wake up earlier.
So you're high maintenance. I mean, you're.
Oh, for sure. I don't have time. I'm like, there's no coffee date time. And if I was going to go somewhere, it's like, I'd like to take that time that I do have with my friends or with my family. Yeah. Not with like some new guy that is not even. Yeah. It's kind of, one of those cross wearers, but still like out partying and drinking a lot. Yeah. That was a shot.
Those real Christians. Real Christians.
What a real Christian.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, look, check it out, man. We like to start off and just do a little check-in, and we check in on each other, see how our week's going, everything like that. We're going to take a little bit of a commercial break, and then we'll be right back to dig into stuff a little bit deeper. Spirit-led on the Light ATX with Chad and Janae. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back with Spirit-led on the Light ATX with Chad and Janae. Hey, look, we're just chopping it up. We did our check-in. We made sure we're doing okay and all that other stuff. Now we gotta dig a little deeper and get down to the Father's business.
And I found out why you haven't had honey.
Oh my God, no. Look.
You thought I wouldn't find out.
Listen, anybody out there.
She said she gives you honey sometimes. She said she does.
Anybody out there that wants to be on Team Chad, please let me know. I need friends. I need associates. I need team members that are unswayable, that don't want to talk about nutrition. And
she says personal health stuff.
Yes.
But she said sometimes she does give you honey. So.
Oh, my God. No. Look,
I'm just saying.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying. I did want to touch on something from last week. I know I want to touch on this really quick. We talked about, remember when I said that I would curse, and I say I would curse out demons? Okay. So I want to make a point because today I was in my prayer.
Already?
I was watching, right? Okay. I was watching it's actually my prophet that I watch. And he had someone on that said, when you say the F-bomb or the S-bomb, it's actually spirits. So.
Oh my God. So like now, like what you're basically saying is that we can blame it on somebody else? Like I can blame it on a spirit?
Absolutely not. That you're actually like calling them on into your life. And so you have to repent of those words.
I understand repentance.
Yeah. I
repent.
A lot.
A lot. I repent. Repent a lot. You know what's crazy to me is like we had so much fun last week.
Yeah.
Just talking, and it's so crazy to me because even after when I watched the show back or like there was a couple things that I said and I know my heart. I know that I had absolutely no. I'm not even going to bring the subject back up because if I bring the subject back up, like we're going to talk about it again.
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about it again because it's a problem.
But how do you feel?
I don't know. I mean, it's like I felt fine, but I know that there's like this whole group of super Christians out there that are. They're like, ta-da, ta-da, I'm a Christian. And they like, literally, it's like I know that there's going to be back, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
That's a spirit of offense. People are always offended. It's very hard to say anything or do anything, especially online, anything like that, because people have a certain expectation of people to not be human.
That bugs me so bad.
It's hard.
It bugs me. It really does. It bugs me because I'm gonna tell you why it really, really bugs me. First of all, I meant no harm. Second of all, I like to be comical. I like to laugh. I like to enjoy myself. I like to have conversations with people that you let into your inner sanctum, right? Yeah. Where you're just being completely real. Unfiltered, where you don't have to apologize for every little thing that maybe you shouldn't have said or anything like that. Like those relationships are really necessary. But it's just, I know that there's people that are going to judge me for that. And what really bothers me more than anything is that the world is watching. Like the world is watching the way that we treat each other. Yeah. The world is watching the way that we respond to each other. The world's watching the way that we correct each other. And it really bugs me because there's a whole lot of people out there that don't understand, like we talked about last week, that the relationship with Christ it's a very real relationship. And in private, I can promise that you're just as big a mess as I am. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why any of the Christians, any of these people, and again, super Christians, call them whatever you want to, but where they think that would be attractive to anyone else. You watch look at the way they treat each other on social media.
It's bad.
You know? I mean, like, there's this one guy, man, he just bugs the crud out of me. He really does, because he's just sitting over there beating people. He's like, oh, if you eat pork, you're going to hell. I'm like, what?
I just feel like that's not going to bring anybody.
Like, Jesus is over here eating ham and eggs with me now, bro.
Yeah, it's going to push people away.
Well, it is. It does.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
And not only, and I, you know, amongst believers, I would hope, first of all, if I corrected you or something like that, you have a real relationship with Christ. So I would hope that your affirmation, all the things that you need from Jesus or that you might have needed at one time from people, that you're getting from him, right? So I think within the body of true believers, it's okay. It's going to be okay because that person loves Christ. But for somebody sitting on the outside in, why would they even, I mean, seriously, I say this all the time. Your Jesus is unattractive. Like, and that's a hard thing to say.
I mean, and I get it though, because it's like you don't want to be like too soft where you're like, oh yeah, Jesus accepts you to just keep doing all the bad things you're doing. It's like, that's not what it is. But you also don't want to be too like, you don't want to go into condemnation.
Well, but that's all it is, though.
It is.
That a lot of the ways that people in the body, the way that they correct people, it is condemnation. It's like it says, I'm better than you. I've got this all figured out, and you're doing this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. And you need to do this and you need to do this, and that's not Christianity at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we say what we say, come as you are.
Yeah.
But God doesn't leave you the same.
Right.
You come to Jesus. You could come to Jesus with all kinds of problems. You could come to Jesus as a pothead, as an alcoholic, as an adulterer. You could come to all this stuff. But there's something about inviting Jesus into your heart and beginning to walk out a life with Jesus Christ that he teaches you, he convicts you, you know, and eventually I think it's absolutely not only necessary, but it's absolutely unavoidable that you will put down anything that does not bring him glory. Right. But he's not saying, hey, you got to put that down or otherwise you're going to hell. Right.
You know and he works on you little by little, like we said before. Yeah. I was actually watching a testimonial, and it was a man who has been homosexual. Yeah. And he was saying that he was actually going through, you know, the whole Pulse shooting that happened. He was there. Okay. In the Pulse shooting. And he said he was giving his life, he got shot. Like the shooter was right over him and shot him. Nice. And he said he was giving his life to Christ and was apologizing and all this stuff, right? Nice. In the middle of that. And Jesus actually saved his life. Yeah. And he said, Jesus told him as he spoke to him, he said, it's not a gay versus straight thing. It's a lost versus saved thing. Yeah. And I love that because that's also like saying, right? Yeah. It's also like saying it's not a sin versus sinless, you know, it's a lost versus saved. Yeah. And I like that. And I was like, that's so profound. Yeah. Because it's like, he's like, God told him, I'm working on a lot of other things in you. You know, you keep asking me why I haven't got you away from homosexuality, but I got to get you off of drugs. Yeah. I got to get you off of fornication. I got to get you off of a lot of other things before we even get to that place. And I thought that was really amazing to hear.
Yeah, but even going into that, the weird thing about it is like some people he will just radically change everything, and then other people have to, but that's what, like we talked about it last week, about it being so personal. I mean, you can't look at another person's life, another person's walk, and in any way be envious or in comparison, because it's a very personal journey, and you're going to learn the way that you have to learn, and you're going to grow the way that you have to grow. Right. You know? But I love that you said that too, though, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, we think about the thief on the cross. You know, I mean, the thief on the cross, you know, one of the other two people that were on crosses was Jesus Christ the day that he, you know, obviously he hung on the cross and gave his life for us. You know, I mean, he, in a moment of desperation, you know, he never prayed. He never went to church. He was not a believer in any kind of way up until that day. And then in a moment of just clarity, you know, he knew he was going to die. And in that moment, he believed that Jesus was exactly who he said he was. And he said, when you get to, you know, remember me. And because he believed in Jesus, simply believed in Jesus, he gets to spend eternity with him.
Wow.
You know, and I mean, we just have it all messed up, but that's what it looks like. It looks the same way. You would think that after 2,000 years, like, we had grown past this. Seriously.
No.
But it doesn't. It looks the same way. You got a whole bunch of people out there that are making it about you got to do this and you got to do this, and they're still living under law. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like seriously, if people that don't know Christ don't understand what he did for them and how much he loves them, why would you think that reminding them every day of how they're unworthy and they're not obeying the law, or they're disobedient, that they could have no part of that? And it really does look like you got to check off all these boxes to make it to heaven, and I just don't think that that's what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah, and that's what I actually told. I was talking to my friend about this, and I was like, I have a friend that believes in God, but is not living in that way, still doing drugs and fornicating and, you know, being promiscuous, things like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, you should stop smoking that weed. You should stop sleeping with these people. It's like, I just feel like, who am I to say that? What I can say is, hey, you should pray and ask God. You should talk to God more and encourage her to continue to pray. And me being that person that she sees me, that I'm so into God and I love God so much, and I'm not condemning her, but I'm encouraging her to go and to pray more. Here, go talk to God, go build a relationship with him, because I believe my God, I believe Jesus will go and talk to her. If she builds that relationship and she hears 100%. God, he's going to go and tell her. I don't have to tell her
You already
anything.
said the most important thing. Like, this person, whoever this person is, they believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That is the foundation.
Right.
That is the foundation of our faith.
Right.
That is the foundation of Christianity. That is what is necessary to get to heaven, to believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
It's plainly stated in the Bible. Nowhere does it, I mean, I'm sorry. It's just plain. So you just have to understand that, you know what, God's going to get that person there.
Yeah.
And the easiest way that we can help is to just live out loud for Christ.
Yeah.
And to be really real.
Yeah.
And make sure that, you know, John 13:35 says it best. This scripture absolutely rocked me in a season where I was one of those people. I would use my biblical knowledge, right, to lord over people, you know? You know, like, I got the answers. I know the answers. You know, the answer. I would do all that, right? And I see a lot of it now, and not from a judgmental point of view. I see it because I've done it. It's really easy to identify when you walked in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. John 13:35 says something. It's just so point blank. It's just right after Jesus was done washing the disciples' feet, and he said, "Now you love each other as I have loved one another," and all this stuff. But he says, "The world will know that you are my disciples by the way that you love one another." Mm. And I think about that a lot, because at the end of the day, I'm not supposed to convince someone to love Jesus. I'm supposed to introduce them.
Right.
Right? But it's really cool to think that anyone who doesn't know Jesus, anyone who doesn't follow Jesus, the way that they will know that I am a true follower of Christ is by the way that I love one another, by the way that we love one another, by the way that I love my wife, by the way that I love people. That is what is going to bring knowledge of the fact that I am not because I'm wearing a shirt, not because I'm wearing this, not because I'm doing this, not because I didn't eat pork, not because I didn't do this, not because I didn't do this. You know, I mean, it's really, really silly. But it to me, if you think about it, loving people, loving one another, that's attractive. That's a Jesus that I know, and it's the Jesus that I want other people to know.
Right.
But instead, you got all these.
Well, because we battle not against flesh and blood, but principalities. Yeah. So when you understand that, like my friend that I talked about.
In heavenly places.
Yes.
I love that.
Against principalities in heavenly places. Yeah. So it's like, if my friend is going through things, she's battling something spiritually. Yeah. She's battling demons. Yeah. And I have unraveled a little bit of it, and it's trauma, and demons like to attack people, and, you know, especially children, and when you're children, and it continues to go on. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there's trauma behind things. And so when you understand, like, people are really struggling with real demons that are fighting them, then you'll have a lot more compassion.
That's
than
a
just
really
be
important thing
judgmental.
to think about, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you know, look,
You don't know what
we just
people
came
have
out of
gone
the
through.
pandemic. What, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just think the whole thing is just so stupid and demonic. But, you know, we just come out of this whole thing. And even this last year, I would say what's really crazy is the 2 years during the pandemic. I honestly, we were living, man. We were enjoying it, man. You know, it was great. But this last year, it's been trying. You know, it's just we've been really put to the fire, and I've been tested in every single way. And there's a lot of days that I just really wanted to give up, and it's been really tough. And the funny thing about that is that, you know, when we came out of it, I started to like just kind of share some of the things that God had shown me and some of the things that God had brought me through. And you know what I realized? I realized that everybody was struggling. And I guess why I just said that was a really cool thought is because perspective is so important. You know, as a believer in Christ, as a son of God, like, as a daughter, you know, like, you know, there's going to be persecution. There's going to be trials. I mean, that's how we grow.
Right.
We grow from, you know, it's no different than working out and tearing your muscles down and then rebuilding them. And growth sucks. It's not easy. But I think that we can get so wrapped up in our own storm and everything like that we forget that, you know what, my brother over here's got to be tripping too.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, I mean, everybody's getting tested privately. And what's really frustrating to me about that is like, I wish we would come to the knowledge and understanding of getting to know and understanding how attractive that is, you know? When we share the stuff that we go through with people who don't love Christ, like, that's powerful, you know? I mean, when you sit in a room full of guys that, you know, one guy's addicted to pornography or addicted to this or addicted to that, and you feel and you're reminded that there's some very real people with very real problems that love God. Like, I don't know why this world thinks that we got to have it all together, like we're trying to pretend we're perfect. And I know why that is. It's because it's our fault. You know, because Christians and religion have slammed the Bible in condemnation over the world forever.
We're battling demons. We're battling principalities. We're battling.
I'm trying to blame everything on demons.
We are. No, it's a serious thing. And
it is.
They actually have legal access to us when certain things happen.
I agree.
So when traumas happen, when we allow certain things, allow or not allow, they can trick themselves into our lives.
I agree.
And they do that. Once you learn about stuff, because they say that in the Bible, it says that God says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Because a lot of Christians don't want to learn about demons. A lot of Christians don't want to learn about, because they're like, oh, I don't want to do witchcraft. I don't want to learn. It's not about doing witchcraft. It's about knowing your enemy.
It's not only that, but you get back into the law too. Because what you see a lot of people doing is, oh, Christians can't have demons. Christians can't. And I just.
It's not true.
I'm going to say something really crazy. I don't know.
It's not true. I do know.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I don't. I just think there's so much about God, and there's so much about the entire thing that it's just, I'm not going to sit here and tell one other person or another person that I absolutely know for a fact this or that, because I just think that, man, there's just a sense of humility that comes with learning. And the more I learn about God, and I said this last week, the more I learn about God, the more I don't know.
I can't say I do know about this.
Well,
so
no, okay.
Like,
let me just say, first of all, I agree.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though, is like some people come up and they're like, how come God does this? How come God allows this? I'm like, brother, I don't know.
Sometimes we don't. Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to just say.
To not know.
Sometimes it's okay to say. Now I have a biblical answer for that.
Right.
Because that should be what we hold everything against. I do have a biblical answer, but at the same time, I think it's okay to just say, you know what, I don't know. You know, I think that you should probably, you know, if you're talking to a person, I think that you should probably do what I do, and I just don't have a clue. Ask God.
Ask God, yeah.
Ask God. I can't promise you're going to get an answer right now, but ask again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's being really real. It's okay to, I don't know. But what I won't say is I won't say that it's not possible. Like, you're not going to come, like, you see this all the time. This topic specifically. People will come out and they'll be like, Christians can't have demons. And I'm like, Are you sure? I mean, I think I disagree with you, but are you sure? Because I don't know.
Well, just because we believe, this is why I know, because just because we believe in Jesus doesn't mean, like, we still have free will. So our free will allows us to do certain things that may open us up legally, spiritually, legally, for a demon to affect our lives. So if
absolutely.
We can believe in Jesus, but if we're out here getting drunk, that allows spirits to come. That's why alcohol is called spirits. It allows spirits to come and affect us. They affect our mind, and the Bible says multiple times be sober minded. Because if we're not sober minded, we can be attacked. It is we are allowing, because of our free will, we allow certain things to happen. So when we do things like fornicate, if we're being with people that are just ungodly, or being involved with things that are not of God, then we are opening ourselves up to allow certain spirits to afflict us. And we can believe in Christ all we want to, but that's why there's so many Christians who are in relationships they really shouldn't be in, and they're having divorces. There's so many Christians that are addicted to pornography. There's so many Christians that are still drinking and doing drugs. And, you know, like when I went out on the 4th of July, I see a group of guys all with crosses.
How tall were they?
A group of guys all with crosses on their neck. I'm paying attention. They all got crosses. They all got tattoo crosses. You know, I mean, they're tatted with Jesus in my mind. You know what I'm saying? But they're like, "Oh, you ready for bottles? We're about to start off with our tequila, and it's 4 p.m." And I'm like, and they're gonna go all night. And I remember those days. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't there, but it just kind of tells you, like, they probably do believe in Christ, but look what they're doing, and look what they're involving themselves in, and look what this is why things aren't going maybe the way that they want to in their life. I don't know about their lives, but I'm sure since I know about that lifestyle, I know what it's created for me and other people that I've seen and in my experiences.
Yeah, there's a million different ways to open the door. You can open the door by not doing anything at all. And I mean, when I say that, I mean, you know, slacking off.
I say laziness and procrastination.
No, I was yeah, right. Hey,
those are spirits too.
That's my move. That's my move.
There's a spirit of delay.
No, but I think I mean, honestly, like, perfect example. I mean, you know, we've had in our marriage, in our house, you know, we've had some really trying times where I know that I allowed the enemy in, and it had nothing to do with a behavior or one thing that I was doing or not doing right. It had everything to do with the fact that, you know, I just wasn't in my word. I wasn't praying. I wasn't literally spending time with him. You know, I mean, I think if you honestly desire and pursue Christ, then you should be seeking things of him
daily
to combat the poor choices. Well, I crack up because there's so many people in this world that call the consequences of their choices persecution. I'm like, nah, bro, you kind of just were stupid and made a mistake. You really can't, you know, give the devil glory and credit on that one. But I mean, literally, I mean, if you have to also understand that you can open the door by doing things or making poor judgments or poor choices, but you can also open the door for the enemy by not making the right choices either.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just like you said, not doing anything, like not being in your word. We don't even realize just being in this world is just filled with stuff. If you just open your phone,
it's crazy.
The ads are crazy.
Bonkers.
The TV is crazy. Social media is crazy. As soon as I open it, I don't even have to scroll yet.
I'm in my house trying to just like watch like some clean stuff because I got our youngest are 9 and 6. He's about to be 7 in a few days. But our youngest are like that. So I'm automatically looking for something engaging that's PG-13. I'm getting 10 minutes in and they're dropping F-bombs. I'm like, when did PG-13? I mean, like, what am I supposed to watch?
Yeah, of course.
An after-school special?
Oh, PG-13 is not good.
Pure Flick sucks. No,
it's like you got to keep PG and under, and even those.
But even then, though, it's bonkers. It's crazy to me what's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I showed my wife the other day. I was on Facebook and just going through, just checking up on. I don't really spend a whole lot of time contributing. I should, but I was on there, and it was just this one ad. I mean, literally everything you wanted to see, everything you didn't want to see. Just chicks from the Netherlands, like completely naked. I'm like,
from the Netherlands.
Wait, I'm serious. I showed her. I'm like, what is in the heck? How is that okay?
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like, how is that okay? And she's like, I don't know. I'm just like, man, that's nuts to me.
It's hard to be. That's why we have to look for things of God. That's why we have to stay in the Bible and stay in there, because the things that aren't of God are just in our face all day. It's all day. It's just thrown. We're not even looking for that.
Right, which is why we have to stay.
Which is why.
I don't know, man. It's just tough, man. I get so bothered by it, dude. Going back to, just the way other people treat each other within the body. Like, it's just, I don't know, the whole thing's crazy to me. I think, honestly, like, if you're not praying, if you're not filling your body with things of God, one thing I do when I'm working all day, I'm always playing worship music. I'm always playing, I have certain things that I love that really kind of touch me. And, even if I'm not sitting down and absolutely focused on it, I believe that I'm putting things into my body that are healthy for me. And honestly, I need it. Like, I need it, like, religiously, because God puts people in front of me on a regular basis that I don't want to love. Like, I'm serious. Yeah. And it really, really bugs me when it's somebody who says they love Christ, Like, I got a dude that works for me the other day, and I guess, he's in a relationship and stuff like that, whatever. And there's this couple that I've known forever. And I'm going to be completely honest, I'm trying to love them. I don't like them very much. I don't, because they're just not. She walked like right up to him, and I guess like she was judging him because I think they were maybe having sex out of. They are not married, and I believe that they were. I don't know. I'm not in his business.
Right.
But and she basically walked up to him, and she out of nowhere just walks up to him and just goes, "If you keep living the way you're gonna live, you're going to hell." Man, that's fine with me. I don't want to love your Jesus anyway. I mean, like, literally, like, your Jesus sucks. Like, I understand. I mean, but to me, like, that's going back to what we said earlier. That's not helping.
No.
That's condemnation. That's basically, what right do you have to say that?
And now you have people saying, okay, well, then I guess I am. Okay, well, I'm gonna, like, that's a saying now. Like, I'm going to hell. I mean, that's a saying. And now they're speaking this into their existence. And why would we want people to do that?
I don't think we do. I mean, I don't. Well, I mean, I make mistakes. I make mistakes. Sometimes God puts really difficult people in your life, and it's meant to draw you nearer to God, right? But sometimes it's just it's tough,
Yeah.
I kind of love it. I know this is a really crazy thought. I remember one time. This lady went behind my back and told one of my customers and some really unsavory stuff about me. And she was a woman from our church. And basically it didn't go well with me. But I know what I'm trying to say is that when difficult people come into your life, when people do things that hurt you or harm you or intentionally in a way, for me, it's kind of like a test. I know God doesn't test us, but I look at it that way.
Well, he does.
The Bible says he doesn't test you or tempt you. I think he allows it, though.
Okay, yes.
He allows the enemy to do it, but he specifically doesn't do it. I believe that's
he did it with Job.
Right.
He allowed the enemy
to
test
allowed
Job.
it, but he didn't specifically do it.
Yeah.
Right? But my point is I look at it this way, and maybe it's just because I'm a guy and we're just wired different, right? But I love it because, sometimes I'll fail. I will fail, and somebody will say or do something completely inappropriate and I'm gonna let them know. And I'm really good at that. But then afterwards, I'll be like, "Dang it, man, I failed. I missed it."
Yeah.
But then another difficult person will come, and I'll be like, "I got it right," and I'll call her up. I'll be like, "Hey, babe, I passed the test." I was like, "I did it." You know what I mean? And it's true. I mean, even when this lady like did something really horrible to me, I mean, I felt really good because I told my wife, I said, "You know what, babe, we just got to pray for her." And that was so out of character for who I've been my whole life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm grateful for those things, even though they're tough, even though they're trying.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good way for us to maybe not consider it passing a test, but a way for us to gauge our growth.
Well, when you ask, I believe when I ask God for something, I already know a test is coming. because he gives it to you by being like, I'll give it to you. And now let's see it in action.
Yeah.
And it's like, so when I ask for something, I'm like,
crazy.
Here it goes.
Or another crazy one too is like every single time you get an opportunity to preach to someone on something, it's coming. You're about to get tested on your own word. Like you over here telling this brother, you're like, look, bro, all you got to do, man, is just sit in his presence, man. You got to turn to God. And then right after that, you know, we were counseling, we have people, I'm counseling people all the time about marriage and what it takes. And it's so funny to me that the minute I counsel somebody on a specific thing, I'm immediately tested. God's funny, man.
Yep.
God ain't playing, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is so crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Let me see you do it.
Yeah, you talk a good game. But see, I mean, for real. But it's funny to me because and you can know it's coming.
Yeah.
Or like me, another one was like when I'm flying high on God. Like I mean, you just get those moments where you're like, woo, you're singing, you're worshiping, you don't care who everybody's listening.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't even matter, and you're just feeling like you're on this hilltop. Nothing can go wrong. Man, it's coming. It's coming. Somebody gonna pull in front of you and flip you off, or something. I mean, just crazy stuff happens. You know what I mean? And you're like, ooh, okay, Lord, I gotta chew on that some.
All right, so that's some things I gotta work on.
Oh my God, man, we're wrapping it up. Hey, look, check it out, man. You're listening to Spirit Led on the Light ATX with Chad and Janae. We're getting ready to get out of here for a few minutes. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back to wrap things up. We love y'all. God bless y'all. We're back with Spirit Led on the Light ATX with my sister Janae and boy Chad right here. Hey, look, check it out, man. We got into it today like we always do. We chop it up about things of God, about the Father's business. And, usually we like to wrap up the show by just talking about some things that we love about culture and Christ and just some of the things that influence us on a daily basis, whether it's music or fashion is not really my thing.
So I like to call the segment. My segment is Song of the Week.
Oh, so man, Song of the Week.
My song of the week.
My
song of the week is King Jesus.
Man.
So I have been listening to this song, and I even put my friend on it because everybody thinks I'm a little crazy for listening to Christian hip hop music all the time. I work out to it. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
I don't have to tell people I'm crazy. So
I'm like, whatever. Yeah. So they know if they get into my car, it's Christian hip hop. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. You don't have to be sorry, man. These people are, man, it's crazy.
It's so good. And they want to sit in the car and act like, here's Janae and her Christian hip hop. I'm like, okay. And watch, you're about to say something. And they sit there almost like they don't want to like it. And they're like, and then they go, yeah, this is a really good song. It's like, rock out with me. Let's go. Let's get lit to the song. Like, it's so good. Man. What are you talking about right now?
Christian hip hop is dope, and I'm you know me. I'm a music freak. Like I will tear a song apart. Like every flaw, I hear every flaw. I hear every single time when somebody's rapping and they're trying to crush a syllable. Anything that's out of pocket, I hear it every single time. And there's some people out there. KB obviously. Is the originator of the song King Jesus. The original song King Jesus was with KB and No Big Deal, which was that was a duet and that everybody was really kind of looking forward to, because No Big Deal is probably, I don't know, a lot of people arguably would say that he's probably the most creative dude in Christian hip hop.
That he is a big deal.
He is a big deal. I mean, he really is. I mean, it's funny. I mean, even when but he is. I mean, creatively, the dude's a beast. No Big Deal is fire. I mean, it's crazy. And he's kind of a country boy, too. You know, you got this black dude with, like, some dreadlocks, and he's just, like, from Georgia and the sticks.
Interesting.
And, he's a really, really amazing individual.
Yeah, I don't know about them, but I believe this song came up on my Spotify because I was just listening. I have my rap. I think I have gospel rap is my. I made it up on my. I made up my own playlist, and so I have my songs on there, and it just pulled up a song that was like my songs. Right. And this was a song that came up. Yeah. And
beats hard.
It's so. As soon as I heard the beat, I was like, add to playlist. I didn't even have to. I'm like that. I can just hear a little bit of a song. and I'm like, this is a hit.
KB's riding a heck of a storm, man. For anybody out there, man, if y'all ain't checked this dude out, man, KB, K to the second letter. He's a really amazing individual that has gone, has seen a lot of mainstream acceptance in the last 2 years since he did 10K and a couple other songs off of his Glory Alone album. So
I was just telling you about this song during the break, and you said that it was only originally 2, and now when I heard this song, the song I have saved on my Spotify is like a whole list of people, like a slew.
Right. So what they're doing now is a lot of times these guys are dropping heat, right? Okay, so like KB and No Big Deal, they drop this heat. Everybody loves King Jesus because the beat is sick, everything like that. But then what they kind of do, and what we've seen a lot of people do, is they start to open it up to what we call a cipher. So what they'll do is they'll come in and KB will do his part, or No Big Deal will do his part, and then they'll do this kind of this intro, and then they'll allow rappers to just kind of flow over that beat, and then you get 1,000 people across the nation, or 100 people, and some of the most prominent people you could think of hopped on that joint because that joint was hot. No, they hopped on it for a reason, right? But then what they'll do is then they'll pick like 1 or 2 of the best doing it, and then they'll actually put out a remix.
So I think that's what happened.
Dax. Yeah. Dax does it a lot. So.
I didn't even know it was a remix. I just saw King Jesus featuring Big Breeze, Scooty
Big
Wop.
Breeze is fly.
Yeah?
Oh, my God. Big Breeze is so dope.
Scooty Wop, 1K Pew. I was like, these are what?
1K Pew's an amazing guy. He's 1K Pew's a little bit more like maybe, I don't know, not for me. Not really my age.
Okay, so let me tell you. So this song, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, even my friend, I had her listen to it, and she was like, wait, is this the same song? I'm like, yes. She's like, it just completely switched up.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they hit every genre of music almost.
Well, it's weird because what you're doing is you're seeing someone's delivery over the beat. Like even No Bigs is different than KB's. KB has his own style. So when you get dudes like Big Breeze on there, and you get dudes like Ruslan.
They even changed up the beat a little bit. You should hear this song.
I don't know. You got to send it to me.
We definitely have to play it after this on the radio. We definitely have to play it after this so that you guys can hear it.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely put a link on YouTube,
right,
so that you can hear this because it is so good. Yeah. And it's like 6 minutes long, and my friend is like, "Is this the same song?" Because it went into like Afro.
No,
beats.
It shifts.
Yeah.
It shifts in the original track.
Okay, it shifted into like Afro beats, and next thing you know, it's like
that's crazy.
They're in Cuba or something.
KB does a lot of that though.
That's
or
so
No Big could have done that, man. No Big is amazing. Look, if you don't know who No Big Deal is, you gotta check out No Big Deal, because when you're talking about Christian hip hop, that dude is just. That dude is just legitimately crazy. And you know what I love about No Big Deal is that...
In the best way.
Legitimately. So what I love about him, though, is that, like, it literally is like every song is almost really different. Like, it's just, he's so creative, and he's not, like, sitting in any one lane, He's got some... You should try Ketchup.
Okay.
There's a song called Ketchup, not like ketchup, like tomato ketchup, but like catch up.
Okay.
And it's bonkers, man. Or Willie with Andy Mineo is stupid. That's probably the hardest hitting song released in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Andy Mineo and No Big Deal do Willie.
Okay.
It's crazy. And I'll put the content and the quality of that content against any secular trash you can find.
I'm telling you, because King Jesus is so good. I'm like,
it is.
I have rewinded it. I love. There's a part in the song. It's one of the. I don't know who says it. Let me know. But he actually says, I want to quote it properly, but it was like, "You give praise to the universe, but the universe gives praise to him."
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm just like, I literally put it in my story because I loved it so much, because that's kind of a big topic of conversation is people being like, oh, the universe, oh, thank the universe, oh, I thank the universe. I used to be that person. I used to be that person that was like, oh, like, thank you, universe, and the universe gave me this, the universe brought me this, and it's like, the universe is a creation.
Are we talking about herbs again?
No, the universe is a creation of God. So if we're praising the universe, who is a creation of God, it's like, and so I love that he said the universe gives praise to him.
One thing about KB that I think is kind of dope is anybody who really kind of follows him. KB's kind of, there's no question that KB's the big dog in Christian hip hop right now. You know, it was Lecrae forever. You know, Lecrae's the big dog. You know, Lecrae, and Lecrae, you know, nobody asked Lecrae to take that position, but you know, Lecrae was just kind of pushed into the spotlight after the you know, the ambassador and all that other stuff. But his KB's success with the Dove Awards and just some of the stuff that he's done in the last couple of years has catapulted him to probably the top seat in Christian hip hop. So. I mean, dude's amazing, but what I really love about him is that he started out, you know, I mean, this dude's done an insane amount of missionary work. You know, this is not just some rapper that, you know, found Jesus. This dude's been putting in the work. This dude's been rapping about God and living for God for a very long time now. He's got a really dope podcast with one of his best friends. You should check it out. It's called the Southside Rabbi.
Okay.
Yeah, because they live on the south side in Florida, in a specific town or Tampa. I don't know what it is, but anyway, it's called the Southside Rabbi, and it's really dope. He's got an amazing clothing line called HGA, which stands for His Glory Alone, which you can find out about. You can find anything you want from His Glory Alone and the Native Supply or KB's fashion line at nativesupply.com.
What are you wearing? Are you wearing a certain...
Man, I'm just wearing... This is a brother of mine in Amarillo shot me this, man. Little rapper. We call him Why Not. Yeah. He's a really, really amazing guy, and I get blessed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get blessed. I'm gonna have a problem with that soon, by the way. I don't know if we need to get into that.
That's a good problem to have.
Your boy losing weight, so you know I gotta drop. I'm gonna have to give away a bunch of 2X stuff. I'm not.
Oh,
are
you gonna eat healthy?
No. I'm just losing weight.
Oh.
Nah, not really trying. I went to the gym the other day, but you know, I sat outside and ate tacos. It's cool.
Oh Lord.
No, but seriously though, I mean, the content of like KB and a lot of what we see going on in Christian hip hop, it's amazing, and there really is. You don't have to really just put it into any one label. I mean, I think that there's artists doing it in Christian hip hop and in Christian contemporary music that's for everybody. You know, you mentioned 1K Few. I'm not the biggest 1K. 1K Few is an individual.
Few, it's not Pew.
No, it's
I was
Few.
like 1K
Pew.
Like I was thinking like Pew Pew. Like
1K
why is I was like he's really from
1K
the streets, huh?
Extremely successful.
Okay.
Extremely successful at what he's doing. Very well respected. He's probably one of the top dogs.
Why
him and Hovey.
How did he get that name? Is what
I don't know.
Like 1K.
I don't know, but I will say that
with
1K,
a PH. That's why I thought it was Pew because it's PHEW.
I don't know.
That's why I thought it was 1K Pew. Like
we should ask him.
We should ask him.
Well, when he comes into town, we'll ask him.
Okay.
We'll have him on. We'll ask him. But as a person, he's amazing. I mean, the dude is a light, man. He's just joy walking. He really is, and he's a sweetheart. And he wants to he's like that dude that just wants to talk to everybody at the concert before they leave instead of, you know, he's that dude. Like, he's a really real dude, and he really loves loving people. And I think that God has had elevated that dude for a very good reason, and I think it's because he's genuine. I will say this, and don't take this wrong, but going back to what I said, there's something for everybody. Is that 1K Few is not really my thing. He's not. He's that. There's this new style of rap that's hitting the kids. Like Juice WRLD and so a lot of some of the secular stuff.
They don't like to rap on beat or something.
I don't know. It's just different. It's different. Whereas I'm old head, right? So like I grew up in the time of like where it was a message, right? So like some of my favorites are like Brian Trejo. You know what I mean? I absolutely love No Big Deal. Andy Mineo, but I love the writing. I want to hear it really clearly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that there's that stuff for me. And I can still understand the other stuff. But then my 15-year-old kid's going to listen to something a little bit different. And I don't really care.
Right.
I don't
Whatever's
really
going to be positive.
That there's something for everyone in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the reggae beats. You got the Afro beats. Stephen Malcolm is probably one of the dopest cats in the business. Yeah. I mean, he's from, he's literally from, that whole reggae, Jamaica kind of thing. So he's doing hip hop with reggaeton and, Papa San. And yeah, I get a few bag of tricks. There's a bunch of guys out there that are absolutely amazing doing it.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to have my segment. So
all
I
right,
love
man. Janae's segment. Song of the week.
Song of the week, Christian. Song of the week. Hip hop song of the week.
King Jesus.
And that's the song.
Yeah, it's an amazing song.
So yeah.
Man, that is it. Show 2, episode 2 in the book. Spirit led, the light ATX. Yep. Your boy Chad, a.k.a. Church.
Yeah, girl Janae.
Janae Amore. I call her Janae Love.
That's what it is. It's,
Janae Love.
Is love in 5 languages.
Oh my God, I just need 1 language. Okay. Look, man, I love my co-host, man. We just chopping it up, man. We just want to have fun. Hey, look, shout out, man. Let's just leave you with one thought today, man. Look. I know we get into kind of the meat and potatoes sometimes, and sometimes we just like to crack up and make jokes and be really real. And don't let anybody talk you out of your own skin. You know what I mean? God created you specifically to be you. And you got to learn who you are in Christ and understand that, you know what, man, God likes to laugh too, man. You know, God
got a sense of humor, that's for sure.
God's got a sense of humor. I can promise you that. All right? God's a really real God, and he's not looking for a bunch of fake people to represent him. He's looking for a bunch of really real people that are, comfortable, growing in him.
He somehow uses the worst, like the worst of the worst, right?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank God for that.
Yeah. Thank God.
Hey, I am Saul to Paul. I'm telling you, it's funny, right? Hey, look, man, you think you ain't worthy? Check it out, man. You're his kid. You're his kid. Seriously. But look, we're going to get out of here, man. Again, this is Spirit Led on the Light ATX with Janae and Chad. We love y'all. God bless y'all. We're going to be back next week, man, to get it in and dig a little deeper. Get into the Father's business. Y'all keep it about God. We love you. Be blessed.